because I am the greatest artist of all time. It's a flat statement. After me, there will be greater. But this is Ye.
I plan to celebrate and scream and pop champagne every chance I get, because I'm at the Grammys, baby.
I'm here to show you imperfection. The beauty is in the imperfection.
Shock, horror, rage.
I love this guy right here. Yeah.
Kanye West's alleged mental state as he was rushed to the hospital.
I am the #1 most impactful artist of our generation. I am Shakespeare in the flesh. You cannot give me any advice. No,
Hello, I'm Paul Roberts, the founder of Fashion Industry Broadcast, and today we have another film in our Renegades of Fashion series. But before we start, I have a favour to ask. Subscribe to our channel and set the notification bell. And we'd also love to hear from you. If you've got some suggestions as to what stories you would like us to cover, please leave them in the responses and we will get back to you. Every single one of them gets read, every single one of them is of value, and every single subscriber helps us to continue doing what we're doing. So, on to Kanye West. Kanye West, one of the most polarizing, controversial characters to arise in the worlds of fashion and music and art and culture. There's no question he has left an incredible, indelible mark all around the world, and he's become a household name for so many reasons.
I'm coming home again.
He was born in Atlanta, Georgia in 1977, but he actually grew up in Chicago, Illinois. And that was where he began his worldly role as a producer.
Yeah, well, you know, when you first start producing, you can start from sampling, you can start from programming a kick drum, a hi-hat and a snare, and then, you know, you start from like, you know, my first beat to, you know, getting to the level of like the masters that use sampling, and you know, they sample drums from the 70s and the 60s, and you know, mix it with some sample from the 80s and a little word sample from KRS or something on top of it, you know, or a James Brown scream. And this combination is, you know, is how people define their textures and who they are.
He later went on to be, without question, one of the most influential musicians of his generation, with a string of critically acclaimed albums and a swag of international prestigious awards. However, it's not just the music that has made Kanye West a household name. Here's a number of other things that attribute to that. One main one is his role in the world of fashion and his rise to create a billion-dollar empire with his Yeezy sneaker brand in a partnership with the Adidas company.
Hip-hop producers, you know, are very similar to fashion designers, and that's one of the reasons why I'm so interested in fashion, is because it's the same thing. People sample from like they'll take a military jacket and, you know, and modernize it.
Start with a vintage reference. It could start with a previous shoe that we created that we're making a newer version on. You know, feelings of films and experiences that I grew up with, the shapes and the color palettes, and I mean, it's a painting, it's a spirit translated into these miniature vehicles. We work on shoes like someone would work on a car.
The Yeezy business was probably the biggest news, the biggest success in the global footwear industry since Michael Jordan teamed up with Nike to produce Air Jordans. And it became a billion-dollar business.
With that infrastructure and these ideas and this connection I have, it wasn't no way it wasn't gonna be a unicorn. You know, Yeezy's a unicorn, it's a billion-dollar company. We were at 15 million 2 years ago.
Wow.
And we're gonna hit 1 billion this year. It's never
ever been heard of.
Kanye went from being a superstar music producer, performer, rapper, recording artist, to being a fashion magnate on a truly epic global scale.
The music industry is set up for you to have just enough money to afford a car, pay for your kids, a house, and be on tour for the rest of your life till you die. It ain't set up for the artist to win. It's like boxing. You know, more people end up retarded than rich. You're trapped in this box of the idea of your perception, music industry, this, that. You're hanging out with people and you're saying, I want to do all these things, and it's just not taking you seriously. And it keeps you in a position to be, you know, managed in a way. My last and final manager was Scooter Braun, right? I've had every manager. But what's dope about Scooter though, at the end of the day, what you really gotta give him his props is, one thing is, me and Scooter would just get on the phone and we'd talk to me for hours. And that information meant everything. Because before that, it was always like, you an artist, you a rapper. We love you for the music, yay, don't think about nothing, don't think about business, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, why are you keeping me misinformed? I felt like learning the valuation of just even the company and what I built was like a slave getting a social security number. It's like, I got my rights. I know I'm worth this much. Scooter Braun is Kanye West's gateway drug to business and maybe the death of the music industry as we know it.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because artists are businesses. We're not just artists.
But along the way, Kanye being Kanye has also been embroiled in an incredible long string of controversies and dramas.
I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
He's also spoken publicly about his mental health, in particular his bipolar disorder.
I feel like you feel like being bipolar is part of what makes you brilliant, part of what makes you you, and you embrace it.
Yeah, I think that's another one of those things where people are like, how are you gonna talk about it? The funny thing is, this is something I was like on the internet before, it was kind of funny, but it's not an opposite. It's not I hate being bipolar, it's awesome. It's actually, it drives more of how you really feel. It doesn't do an opposite thing. So I think it's important for us to have conversations about, you know, open conversations about mental health.
But first, let's go to the music business, which is where he started.
Okay. America, y'all had to see me. Y'all had to get used to this face. Ain't that what everybody say? Delete that.
Now, he first started music as a producer, making beats for local artists in the Chicago area in the late 1990s.
I started making beats and my beats started getting nice, and then my mother came home one day and she was like, yo, you ever heard of Common Sense? I was like, yeah, I heard Common Sense. He got a song called Take It Easy on the radio right now. He cold, right? He's like, well, I know a friend of mine said her son produces for him. I was like, oh, word? You know what I'm saying? So now I went over his crib, and I remember walking in there, it's like walking in Def Jam now, like walking into Kevin's office or something. Like, that's the closest you could possibly get to the industry, because they actually had something that you heard on the radio, and it was dope, you know what I'm saying? So I was over there, I'm playing my beats. I had the fast beats, like what I was telling you before, and Common came in like, see, Dean, that's what I want some fast beats. I think at around that time, he still wanted to rap like and do the Big Daddy Kane stuff, but he didn't even realize the style that they was doing is the style that we do today.
And he quickly gained a reputation for his innovative and, I guess, experimental style.
I was always rapping, and it just so happened that really, really phenomenal rappers got to rap on my beats before I got a chance to. So that pushed me into the classification of a producer. But I'm a rapper from the heart. Like, I got something to say, you know what I'm saying? And people like, yo, what you finna rap about? You never sold crack out your house and put a gat to a mouth and put your fist to your spouse. So how you gonna move the crowd? I bet 1,000 that you get booed out. You know what I'm saying? Like, now, the rap game has changed so much. You go from Tribe Called Quest to Onyx to Swiss Beats to
Rockefeller to the Bad Boy, and so many different sounds, and it's, you know, it's like almost playing like double dutch. Like, where do you get in the game? You're like trying to like, yo, how does my style fit into what I'm doing right now? So I'm lucky that I had the opportunity to have a plateau to stand on now that my style of beats is the most popular style on the radio right now. Now that I turn on and hear beats that I could have sworn I did them, but I just didn't get no check for it.
And he went on to work with some of the biggest names in the whole industry, including Jay-Z, Ludacris, and Alicia Keys. West's first solo album, The College Dropout, was released in 2004 to much critical acclaim. And the album was a marked departure from the gangster rap style which was popular in the genre at that time, and was praised for its introspective lyrics and its soulful production. The lead single, Through the Wire, was particularly notable as West recorded the song while recovering from a near-fatal car accident that left his jaw wired together.
Man, just let me play Through the Wire for you because I just want to see your reaction. I want to hear all y'all reactions y'all hear. Cause that's, no problem. Let's talk about the accident. I'm sitting up in that hospital for 7 days just to decipher between the bullshit in my life, the direction I need to go in. Yo, Chief, they can't stop me from grabbing Kenny. Kenny hot. I spit it through the wire, you give her life support when you're telling her son on life support. But I'm a champion, so I turn tragedy to triumph. Make music that's fire, spit my soul through the wire. Nigga, that shit is phenomenal.
Yeah, things though.
That shit is. You gonna make it, and when you make it, keep the same perspective.
The success of The College Dropout cemented West's legacy and place in the music industry, and he went on to record a string of successive hit albums over the next decade. And they included Late Registration in 2005, Graduation in 2007, and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy in 2010. West's music continued to push barriers and break new ground and challenge the status quo, and he became known for his grandiose performances and outspoken persona.
I'm not using rap as a way that I think I'm gonna get paid or something. I'm using it as an opportunity to really say some stuff that I think needs to be heard, that I think people will enjoy.
Despite all the controversies and dramas West seems to be perennially embroiled in, one cannot overstate the impact he has had on the current music industry globally. His innovative techniques, production, and his willingness to experiment with different genres have paved the way for a whole new generation of artists. And he's won no less than 22 Grammy Awards, making him one of the most decorated musicians of all time.
I know everybody asked me the question. They wanted to know what kind. I know he's gonna wild out and he's gonna do something crazy. Everybody wanted to know what I would do if I didn't win. I guess we'll never know. Well, I don't think my father really understood or thought that this would be the one hobby that I really do, because, you know what I'm saying, one second I'm Michael Jordan, the next second I'm, who's the freestyle champion that got his own, Dave Murray or something like that? One second I'm him, next second I'm a swimmer, I'm a professional diver. Like, I was just a shorty, I was doing a bunch of stuff, I was creative. Next second I'm Michelangelo. So he probably didn't realize how serious I was about it, because every little kid run around and write raps. But man, it's like, I just loved it too much, you know what I'm saying? I was just always trying to figure out a way for me to be able to express myself, and rap was the best way to express what was on your mind.
But West wasn't content just to stay in the lane of music. He had always had a passion and a fascination for the world of fashion and design. And while he was making a name for himself in the music industry, he was also developing an interest in his love of fashion. He began collaborating with designers and stylists on his music videos and his live performances, and that gave him a taste for more and more. And he soon became known for his bold, outlandish sense of style.
A lot of you know I really love fashion,
And it's been a love of mine since as far back as I can remember. And it's something that I, have always had to fight to be accepted, to love. Even for me as a successful musician, in order to make the transition, it was really all but impossible. People always try to box you in to what they know you best for.
West had a very close association with the late great designer Virgil Abloh. In fact, Virgil worked for him in his advertising business, Donde, for a time.
They have two main schools that have raised the fashion icons. Parsons in New York and St. Martin's in London. And now the breakthrough with Virgil is now we have someone who's come from Donda, who's come from the school of Kanye West. And I hear people talk about, oh, he didn't go to school. Oh, we went to school, all right. We went to school. We was doing JPEGs in Japan, and we were making Photoshop so much and not making clothes that we started just joking about the JPEGs. Like, did you shrink my JPEG? Mm-hmm. Did you dye my JPEG and shit? Because we couldn't figure out how to actually make the clothes, so we just do it in Photoshop. And Virgil became the fastest Photoshop artist that I've ever met.
And they also spent an internship together in Italy working at the house of Fendi.
As me and Virgil went and infiltrated fashion, which is what we did, we started to learn about it. You look at this mountaintop, and at the top of the mountain, it's all these tools for life. You say, I need these tools in order to win at life. So you proceed to climb up the mountain, but you need tools in order to get up the mountain, to climb up. You're collecting tools and stuff. By the time you get to the top of the mountain, you got more tools than was at the top. And that's what I figured out about fashion. I talked to Virgil for an hour. I realized that the concept of luxury and all this is, what did I love about Gucci? What did I love about Louis Vuitton? I love Tom Ford. I love the artist. And Gucci created a platform for the artist. I love Marc Jacobs. And Louis Vuitton created a platform for the artist.
But it was in 2015 when Kanye launched his own label, Yeezy, in partnership with Adidas. The brand was an instant success. With its minimalist designs and neutral color palette, it was appealing to fashion-conscious consumers, and it was new and fresh and interesting. Yeezy quickly became one of the most sought-after labels in the industry, with fans eagerly awaiting each new season's drop. Now, West has also made waves in the world of high fashion, collaborating with designers such as Louis Vuitton and Nike. His Yeezy seasonal fashion shows became some of the most talked about events in the fashion calendar, with their theatrical presentations and celebrity-filled front rows. But despite all the success and accolades of Kanye, there were controversies. Kanye being accused of being disrespectful and attention-seeking, made headlines for his public feuds with other celebrities, with Drake and Jay-Z, and he's been criticised for his support of controversial political figures like Donald Trump. And then there are the ongoing struggles with mental illness.
After I'm dead, after they call me Wacko Kanye, isn't that so funny? The people point fingers at the people who have influenced us the most. They talk the most about the people who cared the most.
I talk to these heads, you know what I'm saying? These like older dudes that run companies. And it's hilarious to me. I only listen to people who are younger than me. These are the only people with ideas. You cannot give me any advice. You can help me. You can support Donda. You can cut a check. You can help me build some infrastructure. But I have the ideas.
I could be talking like to one of these like CEOs or something, and I'm just talking, and it's like they just press mute.
And they wanted to medicate me every day. You realize like they could have just switched to medication and I wouldn't be here. And on the news, they would have said it was because of a mental issue.
Now, Kanye's struggle with mental illness has been well documented. In 2016, he was hospitalized for mental exhaustion and reportedly suffered a nervous breakdown.
Just 48 hours earlier, the entertainer arrived at his Sacramento concert over an hour late and sang only 2 songs before this happened. Stop it. West ranting for over 15 minutes on everything from the election to even Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, call me, bro! But he's spoken openly about suffering from bipolar disorder and has been praised by many for bringing attention to the illness and understanding for those that are suffering with it.
I like just talking to acquaintance, friends, family, and I keep them on the phone, for 45 minutes at a time, talking through things. It's kind of narcissistic, talk about my problems, using the energy, even like just them being a sounding board and talking through it. So, one of the things that was incredible when I, got out of the hospital was I had lost my confidence. And wow, I never had the empathy for people who lacked confidence. I had so much of it, I didn't know what it was like to be without it. Even when I did the next fashion show, it got all these good reviews. Yeah, because I was less confident. Because it's like, there, boy, that's exactly what we wanted.
Ah, okay. Okay. So you traded authenticity for approval.
I didn't trade it. I just didn't have it. I didn't have me.
And when you have a high, you're on a roll. And when you have a low, you're not.
Well, there's some cases of bipolar where people go low. I'm one that goes high. Like Michelle Obama said.
So you don't have extreme periods of depression?
Oh, no.
No. Oh.
No. Because I just say it. I'll say on real TV, like, oh, I thought about killing myself, and then the thought is gone,
Wow. So all people need to do is get on TV. That's really the solution.
Well, they need to be able to express themselves without fear of judgment. You have to follow your gut feeling. Everyone has a position in the universe, and I've been made and had the experiences I've had for a reason. To be expressive, to go through going to the hospital, to go through the dynamics of family, brother, working relationships. I gotta follow my gut. When I have that fear, I still have to be, brave.
I hit the glass ceiling. You ever seen a bird fly into a window?
Hell yeah.
They don't know it's glass. That was me. When I hit that hospital, that was a bird flying into the window. And, I could have, not made it out of it. But I survived and shit, but it's,
Are you scared of that happening again? You having a breakdown or breakthrough?
Nah. I'm happy it happened. I'm happy to have gone to the other side and back.
But the controversies surrounding Kanye have obviously had an impact on his public image and reputation. Regardless of all that, he still has a loyal fan base that seem to not want to judge him for whatever dramas he gets himself in for.
Everyone in Hollywood knows exactly who Ye is. Every agent, anybody they know, Ye is Ye. In the hospital, on stage, rent, in debt, or with $1 billion company.
They actually cite his ability to speaking his mind and not accepting the status quo as a genuine reason for their admiration. West's struggles with mental health have been a discussion for many years. In 2018, he spoke publicly about his disorder in an interview with the radio host Charlemagne.
So they put you on medication?
Yeah.
Are you still on any now, or?
Oh, most definitely.
Does the medication help?
It's an imperfect solution. Just calm me down. But there's a lot of ways to calm down.
I don't want to calm Ye.
Yeah.
What do you need to calm Ye for?
Yeah. Let Ye be Ye. You know.
Don't you feel like that takes a little bit of your superpower away, though?
All this power in being controlled and calm. This is like, once the kryptonite is gone, I got the confidence, everything is possible. Building acres, raps, stadium tours, designs, companies, ideas to ignite the next generations. Like, everything is possible, you know? And I'm just a vessel, and that's my job in the universe. As a servant to the world, I have to be me. I'm not as good of a servant if I'm not Ye.
West's mental health struggles have also been reflected in his music, with many of his songs exploring the themes of anxiety, depression, and self-doubt. His 2018 album, Ye, was particularly notable for its raw and introspective lyrics, which addressed his mental health issues head-on. So despite all the challenges, West has been praised for his willingness to speak openly about struggles with mental health, and he's used his platforms to raise awareness about the issue and has encouraged people who are struggling to seek help. And then in 2020, Kanye made a controversial remarks during a campaign rally for a short-lived presidential campaign.
When Harriet Tubman never actually freed the slaves. She just had the slaves go work for other white people.
Y'all, we leaving right now.
And he also made a series of statements about Jewish people, including a comment that he's going DEFCON 1 on Jewish people.
I've done a lot of study. I think Hitler was a really bad guy, and I repudiate what Hitler did. I understand that the British intelligence set him up and used him.
I like Hitler.
I don't like Hitler. And I know you're trying to be shocking with that.
I'm not trying to be shocking. I like Hitler. I see good things about Hitler also. You can't say out loud that this person ever did anything good, and I'm done with that. I'm done with the classifications. Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler. Yeah, I don't like the word evil next to Nazis. I think we need to look at.
Oh my goodness. Just because you don't like one group doesn't mean the other. But look,
I love Jewish people, but I also love Nazis. Well, I want to say there's a lot of good Nazis that were just fighting for their country.
So these examples of hate speech and inflammatory posts aimed at Jewish people led to West being booted from Instagram and Twitter. And the comments sparked widespread outrage all around the world. Many criticizing West for promoting harmful stereotypes, using language that was offensive and hurtful. And in response, even Kanye's long-term collaborator and partner on the Yeezy sneaker business issued a statement condemning his comments and distancing themselves from the artist. And he was later dropped completely by Adidas. Additionally, West's talent agency, UTA, reportedly severed ties with the artist, saying that the controversy had caused them to do so. West later made some kind of an apology.
So I want to apologize to her there because right now God has shown me by what Adidas is doing and by what the media is doing, I know how it feels to have a knee on my neck now. So I thank you, God, for humbling me and letting me know how it really felt. Because how could the richest black man ever be humbled other than to be made to not be a billionaire in front of everyone off of one comment?
But the incident highlighted the impact that his controversial statements and actions can have on career and public image. Kanye has had many high-profile love entanglements over the years. He was previously engaged to designer Alexis Pfeiffer, and he later married TV reality star Kim Kardashian in 2014. And the couple had 4 children together, but Kardashian filed papers for divorce in 2021, citing irreconcilable differences. The divorce has been a highly publicized and contentious process. with both parties seeking joint custody of their children and the division of their collective assets. There have also been reports of disagreements over their children's upbringing and education, along with West's struggles with mental illness.
Are you sad that you're no longer together, that you're divorced?
We'll always be together. She dresses exactly like me. What do you mean? Like my kids are me. You know, there's no person that she'll ever get with that will influence her more than God and then her priest on earth, which is me.
After turning 40 this year, I realized, like, no, I don't want a husband that lives in a completely different state. Yeah. To me, I thought, oh my God, that's when we're getting along the best. But then that is sad to me.
Since Kardashian, West was also linked to a number of other high-profile females, including model Irina Shayk and later Uncut Gems actress Julia Fox. But he exchanged vows with Australian Bianca Censori in 2023 in a private ceremony. But it's believed the union was not legally binding because they never filed a marriage certificate. Ironically, his new wife worked in his design business for Yeezy. She was an architectural designer for several years. And since their marriage in early 2023, the couple have been spotted in and about Los Angeles wearing ever more bizarre kinds of outfits.
And this is where it all starts right here. This is where we did the reason for Beanie Siegel. This is where we did the blueprint, the new Freeway album. This is where the Heat Rock So Cameron album was done. And also, this is where we're gonna be doing the Kanye West project. Did you see I ended that off without it like going into another sentence and shit?
So in conclusion, what do you say about Kanye West? You may love him, you may hate him. There's no question he's an outlandish character and he's divisive, polarizing. But you cannot refute the impact he's had single-handedly on the evolution of the music business and also the fashion business. And he's pushed boundaries, challenged the status quo, and he's created a way for generations of new artists and producers and creators in all these industries to come forward. And for that, he's left a meaningful, positive contribution.
I think we're in a place now where bravery is more important than perfection. Feeling is more important than thought. When you want to express yourself, a lot of times words can get in the way. I don't have all the answers for every issue I've ever had. I don't have a soundbite for everything. Stop strategizing so much. Stop setting so many plays. Stop doing things only based in fear. Like, the universe will assist you when you are acting in love.
Despite all these controversies, his dramas, his struggles with mental health, Kanye's admirers and fans seem resolute in their unquestioning support for Kanye. Looking back, it's hard to know if he will continue to evolve and enjoy more success, or whether he will implode and crash and burn. One thing you can be sure of, it will be high drama all the way.
As an artist, I think it's good to document ourselves, document our now, see if we can recognize ourselves again in a different light, in a different life.
What would college dropout Kanye, if he was looking at pictures of Kanye now, what would he say?
I think he'd be happy, satisfied, and he would believe it. You know how people say, oh, I wouldn't believe it. I always believe it. I always know what it is.